All right, so we have another one of our daily live trainings, which is part of the biannual pop-up group that PBK hosts. So you're going to see that we take questions from actual, people, Kajabians, people that are looking at Kajabi, and we go through answering their question. And so today we are going to go through what is really one of my favorite questions to map out and to brainstorm with people. And that is the basic plan of Kajabi, which it has currently a limit of 3 products, is that going to be enough? Or is that going to handcuff your business? Or is it not going to work at all? Well, most of the time, and it's not 100% because there are situations where Kajabi just isn't the best fit, but I would say well over 90% because of how Kajabi has built products. They're different, at least they were for me, coming from WordPress and plugins. They function completely differently. And when you know how the system works as a whole, there's different ways to leverage it. So this was Steve's question. Thank you so much for sending it to me. So we are going to walk it through, and just a second, let me get this going. So we are doing Kajabi basic plan, which right now is 3 products. And we always start, the first thing you will always see me doing is laying out North Pole to New York City. And this is simply my metaphor for never forgetting, because I would forget it if I didn't have this, how to get people from cold traffic. So North Pole, that's your cold traffic. So those are your read magnets. Could be a YouTube channel, could be a vlog, could be a podcast or a blog, but people don't know you. And then New York City, this is likely your core offer where you want people to spend money. So New York City, they're spending money. The idea is we want to get them from the North Pole to New York City as fast as possible without letting them like go down through California and Texas and over here. Like they might still get to New York City, but it took them a really long time to do so. So our in-between steps are opt-in. So when they give us their name and email so that we can nurture the relationship, keep in touch with them. And then the intro product, which some people will call it a tripwire. I also call it a lily pad, meaning if someone opts in, they sometimes need an intermediate step of a lower price point or a lower time commitment to be like, yeah, I actually like this person before they make a commitment over here. There are people that go from your opt-in, boom, they go straight through. We call those the unicorns, and they travel with credit cards in their horns. They are not going to ask for special treatment or deals. They are just thrilled and they go straight on through. So when we are looking at products for the basic plan, they're going to live here. Okay. Here, products live there. They live here. And sometimes if people are doing a free product strategy, I use this myself. So for anybody that has the free Kajabi resource library, that is a product that for me lives as part of my lead magnet. So those are the places that products can live. Now I'm excited because now we're going to get to Steve's stuff, which was super cool. Steve, will you tell him a bit about what you do? Because it's super cool.
Yeah, I a few years ago I retired. So I had purchased a piece of software called Chief Architect, and I kind of dive into things. So I learned it pretty well. And there's lots of new people. I mean, Chief Architect has a YouTube page with over 20,000 subscribers, but they sell a multitude of products, and I'm using their highest level product. And these new people, I mean, it's a complex program. So I've got a YouTube page, which I just started for fun, to be honest with you. And I want to monetize it really. Because my wife is, what are you doing? You know how wives are. So
I would
actually,
never do that to my husband.
actually what happened was there's a guy that's been training people in chief architect for over 20 years, and he is excellent. But he contacted me last August. Um, I think with good intentions, but basically he was just trying to buy me off because his first question to me was, what is your end game with your YouTube page? Because I was making pretty good videos, and he realized it, and he encouraged me to create a product, which I did, which is the software allows you to create these like 3D objects and
Mhm.
compress them into a library, and then you can sell them or give them to people or whatever you want to do. And I created a very incredible product actually, and people want it actually, and he was going to sell it. So I actually did a video that I linked to his site, and he never really got with me, and he kind of dangled me along. So
Mm.
then he had told me that his website is Kajabi. And so after a few months of being dangled along, I thought, I'll just get my own Kajabi. I don't even know what it is. So I started doing research. Of course, I typed into YouTube Kajabi. I watched videos. I found Tamsin that way. And so now I want to do it. But one of the reasons well, there's a couple of reasons, but one of the reasons I've just hesitated is because I don't know how to sell. I can create lots of these library objects, and I want to be able to sell them, but I don't want to like a 3 product or 4 product limit.
Yep.
Where I can't do it. But I have come to realize there's probably ways around it. So
Oh yeah.
I sat in on a Kajabi webinar, and they answered that question for me and showed me that I could park those products on other places and sell them through Kajabi. So I felt better after learning that. So anyway, then I asked, can I sell a course that is say I create an entire course on how to use the software from beginner level to advanced. Can I break that course up into beginner, intermediate, professional, and then begin almost like Kajabi sells the program, their program, the basic just to get you started, then a stair step. But anyway, that was my question. Can I do that? Or do I have to create 3? Like the guy that was trying to recruit me into his business that has a Kajabi site, he's just got one product called Chief Architect Training, and it has, I think I added it up one time, it has like 50 hours of videos. Of course, there's nothing specific on his platform there. All he did was edit webinars. And that's his course training. So, people interrupt him. He starts to train something, then somebody asks a complex question, and he gets diverted, and it's incoherent in my opinion. But people like it because he does touch on a lot of different subjects. So in a way, you can go there to learn about rooms, which is a technical term with the software, and end up learning about roofs. So, and he's got a list of maybe 30 videos, and they're all 2 hours long. It's unbelievable. But you start to watch one and you realize, well, this isn't what I want. I want something else. So you got to go to another video. Anyway, I want to create a actual class type learning program that starts off with the basics, then gets a little tougher, and then touches on create models and objects and, the high level stuff. But of course, that's going to take some time. So I would probably just start with the basics and then, so anyway, there's the question. It's long, meandering way, but you follow what I'm saying.
It's perfect. It's perfect because you have to have all those details, and it makes it so much easier when then anyone's brain is trying to be like, oh, well, that's what this person's trying to do, because we all use Kajabi in very unique ways. And I'm with you. Like, these live calls are awesome and I like them. They're fantastic. They're great. They live on YouTube. People enjoy watching them. But when you want a training, you don't want to sit and go through, I mean, really, just in this month, I have 23, minimum of 23 hours. And most days we went for 2. So we're looking at 46 hours of videos,
Oh,
like what you're
yeah.
explaining for the gentleman.
Right.
For your course, when you're like, hey, you're going to want to learn about roofs. We're going to go in. I'm going to focus on roofs. We're going to spend, like, instead of 2 hours on a webinar, maybe it's 10 to 20 minutes on one video. They get in, they get results much better. It's a better experience. It's heavenly. So, okay, that gives me an idea of which is what number 2 is. Once you know, okay, yep, here's North Pole to New York City. I know how things lay out. Then you brain dump. And I recommend list out everything you possibly think you want to sell. Because while you're not going to do it all at the same time, I remember when I watched the videos for Kajabi almost 5 years ago, I had, this entire empire of ideas. And just listening to Kenny, I'm like, oh my goodness, his platform will hold all these ideas that I had. They're all, they've all come out in different phases, but that's the key piece is brain dump. What is it that I want to sell? What am I thinking for price points? What am I thinking of where, pieces go? And you write it all in. So yours makes total sense to me, which takes us right into number 3, which is how do you want to sell it? And I like to think of extremes in terms of bookends. So how do I want to sell? And also inferred in that is deliver. Okay, so you have all this content and our choices, because again, we're going to think in bookends. We have 1 container of 100, or we have 100 containers of 1. So when I listen to these library objects, you would probably end up having thousands of little files.
Maybe in time, quite a few, but you'd have to spend your time making things people want, and they would.
Okay.
Sometimes I might just want to use them as lead magnets, to be honest with you. Like, for instance, they give you the ability to create almost any kind of object, but say I wanted to create a small library of custom stair newels. Okay. Like you see right at the landing of your stair. You could create, 25 of those and attach a small video to it on how to use them and just offer it as a lead magnet, because this would get people to my site. And I have about 500 YouTube subscribers, and Chief Architect themselves has over 20,000. I noticed something. I don't know if any of you people are expert on YouTube, but I have like 10 times the views as I have subscribers. And when I check into the analytics, only about a third of the people that subscribe to my page are viewers. Most of the people are not even subscribers. They go and watch the videos.
Watch the video.
So there's people out there that are watching these videos, but they're not subscribing to my channel, whatever reason. I maybe they don't even know they can subscribe. But
do you use TubeBuddy by any chance?
Yeah, I have TubeBuddy.
Okay.
And I just have the basic, whatever it was, free. So I'm using that to kind of analyze a little bit. But I just hope right. I think there's a market for what I'm doing. I'm going to be competing against this guy that was trying to recruit me, but he has a Kajabi page that he actually never updates. He never sends anybody there. He makes his living primarily doing live training, and he does a good job. He actually does an excellent job. So I'm not criticizing him at all, but his thing seems to be to get people to sign up to go out, and he actually rents a conference room and does live training, which is not what I want to do. I just want to, so my wife says, "Oh, you made some money. Yay." So yeah, and I say, yeah, and it means a nice dinner out if we can
There
ever
you
go
go.
back. We ever can go out again, but
Yes, if we
so
ever get to leave time
yeah,
out. No,
yes,
I love that. I mean,
yeah,
that is such a cool um lead magnet because
yeah,
it sounds like you can easily put them together and
yes.
delivering that. What kind of file type does it come, do you deliver it
It,
in?
well, it's just a, well, they call it, it's got an extension on it that the software actually creates. So it's just
Okay.
it's one single file. It'll compress everything into one. So
Okay.
like my screen porch library that I created is 80 megs, but and there's almost 400 objects in it.
Oh, wow. That's
So
amazing.
and they're 3D objects that are all just compressed into this file. So you know, and the file size will just vary depending on how many objects there are
And it can
inside.
just, and it, you just send it via email and it works. Like if
Well,
I
it's
had
80
this
megs. I would have to send it some, like I have it on Dropbox, and
okay, that was,
I send them a link to the Dropbox site
got it.
because people have reached out to me via YouTube, or because I put my email address, you know, in
Hmm.
my YouTube, so they'll just reach out and say, hey, I want to buy that, and so I sell it to them, you know. So it's
You are after my own heart. Yes, I have it. And
like
yes,
my
you
wife says, if they want it, just sell it to them.
that's exactly right.
Well, for a few months, this
Oh,
guy was dangling me like he was going to put my library on his website,
mm-hmm.
and I would do a video and he would upload that. And so for a few months, I didn't do anything. He kind of had me like, oh well, I'm gonna do my own site. I didn't care that much, to be honest with
Right.
you. But it kind of ticked me off. So now I'm
Mhm.
doing my own thing.
Good for you.
We'll see how it
Cool.
goes.
Good for you.
I'm learning as we go, as they say. So
We all are. We all are. So let me just, I'm going to scoot this up. I need a little bit more space. I wrote too big. Come here. Come on.
I love your little iPad whiteboard.
So do I.
I'd
Thank you.
almost go out and buy an iPad just for that technique alone.
Oh my gosh. It is, it's worth it. Don't tell your
Yeah.
wife I told you that, but it's worth it.
Oh, I got a
It's
birthday
awesome.
coming up. I can just talk her into it.
Oh, there you go. There
Especially
you go.
if I make some money.
Oh, yeah. I was looking before I got this, I was looking at getting one of those big screen TV like smart whiteboard systems.
Oh, yeah.
And my husband was like, really? We're gonna hang this up? And I was like,
Oh,
honey, like it's cool. And then I was like, wait a minute. I think I could use the whiteboard on an iPad, but I had like original iPads. And so I did. I got up
right.
one morning and they went to hockey and I went to the Apple store and I came home with all my new toys. And my husband was like, what? Like, we have 3 iPads. I go,
Right, right. There you go.
we do, but they're so old that none of the apps available in the App Store will actually update because they
That's where
are
I stand. Mine is like
so old.
5 years old. It's
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So
it has, he was like, really? Yeah. Within a couple hours, and I had showed him what I could do. He's like, okay, so that was a really smart thing to do, honey. I was like, thank
yes,
you. Yes, it was.
yes.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I
Um,
like that.
thank you. I do too. I really like because it saves all the pictures. So because we end up circling back to a lot of people's ideas that I can just swipe through, you know, like we talked about
Right.
this the
Oh,
other
I see.
day. So I can just go right back to, oh, yep, let's pull up Emily's picture.
Wow. Oh,
Because I
that's
keep,
nice. Yeah.
oh, it's,
And what's the software again? I know you've said it like 13 times.
I will gladly say it 14. It is Good Apps or Good Notes. Sorry, it's an app called Good Notes. I believe it's $9.99. It is worth every penny because you get the pointer. Really, it's my laser pointer. I just love this thing. Like
Well, aren't you just using the pen that comes with the iPad? Or
I am.
yeah,
I'm using
yeah,
the
yeah,
Apple Pencil. Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
That's
Which
awesome.
writes just like a ballpoint pen in And I've only been using it a couple months. I didn't have this before. So
See, for me, I see this and I say, because I've never done a live webinar, but I think, I mean, you could comment on this, but it seems like you almost have to do it anymore. It's like everybody's doing them. So if I get a community of people that, you know, I collect a bunch of emails through Kajabi, I could do a webinar. And to me, sometimes I could just draw things easier than you know, with my freehand. I mean, I did drafting for 25 years freehand. I never had a computer drafting.
wow.
And so, you know, my first computer aided drafting was 6 years ago. And so it's like, you know, I adapted fine. Okay. But for a long time, I drafted homes just by hand, you know, and so I can freehand draw, you know what I'm saying? I think sometimes you can convey your thoughts quicker, you know,
Oh,
and then jump to the software and show them how you do it. So
I'm a big fan of that method. I'm a
Yeah.
big fan of that method. It
So
works very, very well. In fact, anytime someone, you know, calls or sends a message, I just by instinctive, I have to pick up my whiteboard and I start drawing out. If I can draw out on a whiteboard, I can convey my idea so much
Yeah.
better. So on this number 3 part, as we're working through analyzing how are the products going to work for you inside Kajabi. And some of us will have the one end of a bookend, which is one container that is just massively big. It holds all the content and it becomes like a really, really, really stacked up set of encyclopedias in a lot of ways. Other people will have the opposite extreme, which is hundreds of tiny single pieces. So one person that we have in PBK, she's a jewelry designer, but she sells individual jewelry tutorials for, I think all are under $20. So she has lots. She's in the 100 of one category that I would put her in. So
can I just ask a quick question?
Sure,
I don't know
please.
how this works. So my question might seem basic, but can you create a multitude of products, but say it has a limit of, you can only sell 3 products. Can you have inside Kajabi 30 products that they're there if you wanted to sell them? Or
Depending
they only
on,
allow you to create 3 products?
I'll show you. No, you can, and we'll pop over to Kajabi.
Okay.
What it will let you do, and on my account, it's hard for me to tell because I have a founder account, so I have unlimited everything.
Yeah.
So when I go to test things, if I create too much, my account doesn't block me because of what I have. But when you're building, and I'm positive that this is the case because I have lots of PBK people that are on the basic plan, but they have 10 products. Like, yep, I have 10 of them, but they're only using 3. But when Kajabi makes an update to the platform, they could change a setting that I wouldn't know about. So if I went to create it and it said, nope, sorry, you need to upgrade your plan, it would tell you. But I don't think that's the case. You can totally confirm with them because they let you create it because people will change their mind. Or they quit selling, like they were going down path A, but in the midst of that, they realize, I don't want to sell path A. I really want to sell path B. And so they can create a different one. I have never heard of anyone on a basic plan or on any of the plans getting locked, like hitting a ceiling and being stuck at all.
Okay.
And when you're on, so this is the dashboard. When you're on products, all of these products are exactly the same, functionally speaking. Kajabi just pre-populates them with different configurations of categories and posts, which is how we organize the content, to give people like a good starting point. The exception is community. So this product right here is very separate functionality. It is meant to, and it's still in, I would still put it in the beta category. It's meant to provide a forum experience or a Facebook group experience, but all the products, otherwise, there's only two types. There's a product and there's community. I'm a big fan. I like to start from scratch because nobody ever uses a pre-populated product exactly the same way. It just doesn't happen. So if I do basic plan, save product 1, when you start from scratch, it makes it easy to say, oh, this is what I want to put in the product. And again, I always go from a sheet of paper before I start building so that I know, oh, I need a category for this. I need, like you would when you're building. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
let's actually create a plan before we start building that house.
Yes. Thank God there's people that need plans.
Oh my God, no kidding. And it's even better when they follow the plans.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That doesn't
the plans
happen.
work. But this is what the container itself ends up looking like. So when it is for the, let's start with your course first, because I think that might be easiest. So when we start with your course, I'm just going to rename these. So I'm going to change, what I'm changing right now are categories. I like to think of a product as I don't have one nearby, a book, because I can make it as fat or as thin as I want. A category is similar to a chapter.
Okay.
So there's a couple people that are like, Tamsin, that's like the worst example ever, but it works in my brain. So if I said beginner content for one of your categories.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm going to click save. And then we go back out here and we can add as many, you'll see underneath contents, I could put in a subcategory, so a subchapter of roofs, railings.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Basics.
Introduction or something like that?
Oh, totally.
Okay.
So within this, I could put introduction to beginner. And then in this, when I'm creating new things, it'll put it into draft mode, which means I can see it, but you as a customer can't see it until it turns green. So once it turns green, then you can see it. Underneath a subcategory, I can put an individual lesson. So individual lesson on something.
Okay.
And I can stack those up. There's no limit. I can put them in any order that I want. I can move them very easily. I find this a lot with my content. I might create it, but as I'm watching people interact with it, I realize I could make the organization better for them and the way that they're expecting to see it. I don't have to rebuild. I can just drag things around. So that makes it really nice when you are the person creating, that you don't have to rip things out.
Yes. Awesome.
So let me go. Then we're going to put, when it is the 3 different levels for your content, if I'm going to show you this first, just a second. Let me just get it made. So I have a beginner category. I'm going to add so in Kajabi, this is still all in one product. Currently, I can't block access depending on the category. So if people, let's say I had 10 beginners and 10 intermediates and 10 advanced people, if I put them all into the same product, they're going to see all the same content. It doesn't segment it out.
Okay.
When, and depending on the nature of the course that you build, for example, if somebody, let me just flip back to my whiteboard real quick because it's easier for me to draw this. Let's just make you a new. So this is our product. And we have, I use C to represent a category. So we have our beginner, we have a category of intermediate content, we have a category of advanced content. So if I'm an advanced user and it makes sense that all that content would live in the same book when I went to pull it out of my digital library, I can do it like this. What you have to do, or not, you don't have to. As I like to explain it, there's lots of different ways I can get to the number 12. 1 plus 11, 2 plus 10, 6 times 2, 24 divided by 2. This is one way you can manipulate products. I can clone my big version. So my version that has all of my stuff in it for my advanced user. I can clone that. So in this middle piece, we clone, and I make product number 2. This is for my intermediate users. So I have my same exact content, but I take this category and I put it to draft. So I can now let my intermediate people with their offer. So all of this in Kajabi, you have no limit on your offers. Offers are absolutely unlimited for everybody at all times. So the offer, and I explain it as, have you seen my video with like the Lego people and the baggies?
I did start to watch it. I don't think I finished it.
That's okay.
Because
So
I didn't know enough about the software. I was like,
Nope.
this is beyond my,
Nope.
where you can put them in the bags or something,
Yeah.
right?
So an offer,
Yeah.
An offer, just a second, I'm going to switch to stop share. An offer is just like a Ziploc bag. I can have as many of these as I want, but I have a set number of, and the Lego pieces are what I use as the product. I can't just give you a Lego piece. I can't do it in Kajabi, but I can take this Lego piece and think of it as I have unlimited copies of this. Just because I give this to someone else, the way that a product works in Kajabi is the access is determined by an unlimited thing. So I have unlimited copies of this when I put it into an offer. So when I put it into the intermediate bag, it's the same product with the advanced stuff just hidden. So offers are baggies, and we put the product that we have, our 3 products, could go into, I mean, if we needed it to, it could go into 100 different baggies. So that's my very scientific.
So the original product would be the one I would sell to advanced users because it would have the total thing.
Yep.
Clone it and draft the advanced part, and then that's our immediate. Clone it again and just have the beginner part, and bada
Yes.
bing.
Yep.
Okay.
Bada bing.
All right. That's
And
good.
yeah, it is. It is Kajabi built my brain. When Kenny was drawing this and I was watching him, and I'd been trying to do it for years and it just was impossible, even with the stuff I was buying. Yeah, there we go. Now I draft this one and draft this one. So it's a whole lot less work for sure. And when this has an offer, I can sell it. So for courses, for 3 separate groups of people, to do it like this would take 3 products currently. It is a feature that's asked about really frequently in Kajabi, is that I want to be able to set access in a single product based on an offer tied to categories. That doesn't exist yet. When it gets there, if it ever does, then I wouldn't need this product and I wouldn't need this product. Because if they had the beginner baggie, they'd only see this beginner product. So it functions like this option is functioning right now.
Okay, let me ask you a marketing question, more or less, I
Yeah.
guess. So say I did like a course that was like a quick start, okay? And then I also did I don't know, a more advanced course, I guess. It would cover some of the quick start, but then move quickly to advanced.
Mm-hmm.
Is there some advantage then to saying if you join, like if I created a membership, you can get the advanced or something like, I mean, I don't know how to, if I'm limited to like 3 products,
Mm-mm.
is membership a product? I guess is
No.
another.
No,
Okay.
membership is a baggie. So I
Okay.
can purchase my baggies. Think of gym equipment. My husband right now is purchasing gym equipment, and a lot of it, for our garage.
Okay.
He's buying stuff and it's very expensive and it's very big and it's ours. So that is one way that I can purchase a course. So over here, I could purchase gym equipment. I own it. The price point is higher because I'm buying the piece of gym equipment. I can also have access to the gym equipment. So membership is, think of a gym membership. You're paying to access the weightlifting equipment at the gym. I'm paying to access the Zumba class. So as long as I'm paying for the access, which happens via a baggie, I write on the baggie the payment terms. So I write, oh, it's $100 a month and you have access to this and here's the hours we're open. Just like if I was joining something. But when I stop paying, they close the door to me. Like,
Right.
That's nice, but you don't get to take the gym equipment home with you. So yes, membership is recurring payment and it is access to content. It's also a really great business model, especially in an area where people are not only coming in at all different ability levels, but their interest or their ability level is going to shift as they're interacting with your content. So I come in as a beginner, but oh my goodness, I love this. I'm learning. Recurring payment means they're now a customer for, I don't know, 1, 3, 5, 10, 15 years versus, oh, you bought the content and
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
Yeah.
So yeah, recurring payment in Kajabi isn't a product, it's a baggie. So I can sell, just again, why I loved Kajabi when Kenny drew his videos. I could sell the product. So I can sell this as gym equipment. Take it home, put it in your house. It is yours. I can also sell this same piece of a product, put it in a different unlimited baggie, and I can sell access to the person who doesn't want to pay. Let's say access is $20 a month and to buy it would be $2,000.
Okay.
They don't want to own the squat rack or the spin bike. They just want to pay to use it. And most often they end up paying more from an access standpoint than they would if they had bought the piece of equipment outright, because you're maintaining stuff, you're updating it. There's access to you, there's access to other people. Like there's a lot of other features that tend to travel, and every membership is different. But those are things that they're pretty stable. I mean, or staples with a P. Does that answer your question?
Well, it's a good business model. I'm listening to you and my brain is like, how would I organize it? And what would, the thing is, like, if I only had time right now to create like the beginner course, and I don't think I would want a membership, because somebody could pay a monthly fee and watch all the videos in about 2 hours, you know, and it'd be like, okay, I don't need my membership anymore. So,
well, and that's where when you're doing your North Pole to New York City, you're asking those questions. It's like, okay, how do I want to sell this right now? How do I want to package it? Because the right answer is what's right for you. It's right for, yep, this fits my lifestyle, my time, my, finances. Like it fits with what I want. And what is right for someone is the absolute wrong thing for somebody else. And that completely gets handled when you're planning out North Pole to New York City. So you say, okay, I want to sell the, you could do the quick start. I'm giving you a quick start. Would that be the same as the beginner, or would that be different?
It would probably be this very similar. I haven't really created, I've only done like an outline of what I would do. And basically new users, they don't know so many of the little basics that I could do 8 videos and they'd have enough to draw a house. You know what I'm saying?
That's amazing.
So, and they wouldn't know everything. I mean, there's some really complex features, but they could at least draw a house, dimension it, maybe create a set of plans, and that's what, there's a lot of people that buy it that are interior designers, and they have absolutely no clue, okay, because all they're dealing with is flooring materials, wall colors, furniture. They don't realize they need to put a roof on a house. They go to put a roof on it and it's like, they don't know anything about roofs. So there'd be a lot of people that would like that. The other thing, this guy that was trying to recruit me onto his site, he has a membership site on Kajabi and has not added a single thing to his membership in over 2 years. So I don't know how he really gets people to join his membership. It's like, well, I think new people they see either his Facebook page or whatever, don't know what they're doing, and it has like 50 hours of videos on it. So you think, well, shoot, I'll pay the $300 and I'll just get access to his videos. And there's a lot of content in there. If you are determined, you can sit there and watch it and learn some things for sure. But I always thought that if I had a membership site, and I think I really need more emails before I could ever do it, but you would almost have to add some content on a regular basis to keep people wanting to, if you do monthly, like his is a one-time fee for a year. So you can just access the content and blah, blah. He doesn't add anything to it, but I guess you could do a membership for a year and just collect. And
I have people that have memberships with 0 content. They are paying for access to the community of people that's grouped around a topic. They pay for, maybe there's a monthly call. So memberships
Oh,
can be a whole variety. And then,
oh,
like it's one of my favorite models because it is you create what is of service to the people. And it can be something, I mean, I know one membership, they have 10 pieces of core content. They've been going for probably 5 or 6 years now. The content for theirs never, like, it's these 10 core pieces. But as people start building with them, so very similar to Kajabi with me, we're all using the
Well,
same elements, but no two designs are the same. Like, no two designs. You might have,
yeah.
yep, you're using a product, and yes, we're using common category and common pieces, but the way that you put it together, you know, they're moving. As our when my husband and I were drawing up plans to build our house, and we were like, oh, we met with the custom builder, and we were like, yeah, we want this house, and they're like, okay, we're gonna make a pencil drawing, and you're gonna go home for 6 months because you're gonna move something. You're gonna want to move. Yeah, you don't want this exact. You're gonna want to move. Could we just move that wall over there? And could I have like an extra 2 feet over there? And they're like, the minute you do that, it is not the same house. And I'm like, that's exactly right.
That's right.
That is
I
exactly right.
I know that scenario well.
I bet you do. So when you're and if you haven't watched it yet, I'll put it in the pop-up group. But there is, both in the free resource library, there's I think 4 or 5 different videos that I've done on memberships, like talking through ideas. Good, put it in the background. You don't need like to sit and like focus. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna watch 6 hours of Tamsin. Not even my no. I it was funny. My son now will watch some stuff on YouTube, and because he's watching under my account, like my suggested videos will pop up, and I will never forget when he started seeing me pop up as like, you should watch this next. He comes running in, Mom, you're on YouTube. I'm like, yeah, honey. He's like, I can watch you. I'm like, you have me 24/7. Am I better on YouTube than I am in person? But membership is the amount of creativity that you have in that software in terms of designing elements. You have that same level of creativity and control when you're designing not just a course, but also a membership experience.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
to me, it always comes down to, what's the business model that I want to grow? Do I want to grow selling courses? Do I want to grow selling access? Do I want to do a combination of the two? And the nice thing is with Kajabi,
I don't know.
yeah, you can
Yeah,
go.
I guess
either
I'm
way.
going to start small and just see what happens. I
Oh.
would, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah, I would.
I don't know. I'd have to be a little creative on how I would do a membership, but because you don't have to necessarily, I mean, I could offer consultation in a
Mhm.
membership at a discounted rate, right? If you're a member,
Oh, yeah.
and then that might be in, even I might give them access to the courses, but I don't have to, right?
Mm-mm.
Like if I had a course, you wouldn't necessarily get the course if you're a member. You might get a discount on the course.
Yep. I call that the Costco price model.
So
Where,
maybe that's how I
Mhm.
start my membership, and
Yep.
then offer live webinars or something as a
Mhm.
member and things like that. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You are right. Where are we? Number 2, brain dumping. Like, oh,
Right.
I could do this and I could do that. And and we talked about this, I believe, yesterday with Natasha. I will say to people, okay, where is the next 20,000 coming from? So that I'm thinking like, okay, because you have to focus. And I can tell, have no problem whatsoever. Here, I have to
Where's
focus.
my wife when I need her?
Because what am I going to build? What do I want to build so that people can sell it so that I am converting the sales. I am adding people to my newsletter. And so I go, okay, my next $20,000, what is the one thing I'm going to do to get me to that point? When I know that, then I quickly go, okay, what's my 100,000? And is there a difference in those two things? Do I want to get something up and going and then add on? Say yep, I want to get my beginner product up. I hit 20,000 with that. I'm going to let that keep going. And I want to develop the intermediate, or I want to develop the advanced. And so that's where this, mile marker guidepost comes into play in terms of where is my money coming from? The first 20, okay, it's coming from here. Okay, the first 100, am I going to say, yep, I'm going to spend my time getting this to 100 and then adding, or vice versa? Again, no wrong answer at all, for sure. And on the right now, I'm just going to, this, you can just totally file away in your brain. When you're selling the 100 containers of one thing, ooh, what are we doing here? The screen is changing on me. The 100 of one, so delivering the file via something like Dropbox, because I don't need the product container experience of Kajabi to deliver it. I can use the Shopify Lite, has an integration with Kajabi. And let me see if I can just pull up a website real quick, because I'll show you somebody who is just turned hers on this week or last week. There it is. She's selling aprons. So she needed Kajabi. She's obviously not delivering the apron digitally. And she needed somebody to keep track of inventory, which you wouldn't have that issue with digital files. But so this is Genevieve's site, and this is all Kajabi. And I'll put the link in chat for you guys if you want to visit it later. Where's chat? There we go. But so this is all Kajabi. And she used a standalone page, and then she customized it. And right here, where you see all the aprons and it says view product, that is just the Shopify Lite. I believe it's still, I think it's free. You don't need the paid version of Shopify, but this Shopify has code, like the embed code that you just copy and you just paste it into a basic text box on Kajabi. And so she can have all of her product right here. They can add it to their cart. She only has one of each, so that she needed to make sure when it was purchased, it was gone, take it off there. So this Shopify takes care of all of it. So it works. Diane, who does jewelry tutorials, hers is, in my head, similar to yours, where she's sending the file, but somebody might want to put 2 or 3 things in their cart and then check out. So she can do that here.
So is that image that we're seeing, is the image on Kajabi that she just created that image, or is it actually from Shopify?
This is from Shopify.
Like the view product button is something she created in Kajabi, right? Or not?
Nope. It all,
really?
It reads over.
Oh.
So she set it up. And the cool thing, let me get off.
So when you click on that, you're actually in Shopify, really?
Yes. Yep. Wow. So this, if I click, which she only has one, and I don't want to mess up her site, although I don't think I would mess it up. But if I click this is happening in Shopify, but it's on my Kajabi site, and I can, depending on, she's not sending up follow email sequences. Like there's, when you're setting it up, you go, okay, what is it that I have to have happen? What is Kajabi taking care of? what is, getting delivered. So in her instance, I need to be able to sell a single physical product that becomes unavailable the minute it's purchased. Diane, jewelry tutorials, she could have 100 people buy that same tutorial in a day. She just needs it to get delivered, the file to get delivered to them.
So, go ahead, ma'am.
I was just thinking, so to do something like this, where maybe you're sending out a video and you want to upload that video to Kajabi because you don't have anywhere else to hold that space, like you're using Kajabi for everything, would that just be a separate offer? So you would have just separate offers set up to kind of look similar to this?
Well, if you're gonna, this is Shopify. So if I was going to, which gets us to, let me go back to just a second, the whiteboard, because a key piece is, just a second, whether the library for your person is essential, nice to have, or not, one way or the other doesn't really matter. The reason is, for me, the library experience for PBK and for the stuff that I sell is absolutely essential. There is no way I'm going to send all these digital files to people and be like, yep, keep track of that in your email. Like, If I was selling, contrast that, let's say I was a designer who was selling templates of Kajabi pages. Those, as soon as they download it, they're uploading it to their site. They're not logging into a library to learn. They are, once they've uploaded it, it's on their account, they're using it. So in that instance, having a library for them would not be essential. So the other question that comes into play is the library. Let me write it down for you guys. Library experience really for your user. And your choices are essential, gotta have it, non-negotiable, nice to have, like, okay, cool, and meh, like, whatever. Whatever. There we go. If it's essential, then we're storing stuff in products, because the only way I can get it into a library is using the product container.
Right.
If it is a nice to have or a meh, then I have other delivery options. So this is when, if I needed to send a file via Dropbox, I could do that. If it's something that can go via email, you can do that. I have a friend that sells Canva templates, and so she shares the link to get the template off of Canva, link to get the template. So it really depends, again, as we're kind of, once we know, yep, I want my own North Pole to New York City, this is a fairly fluid process, because you're coming back and forth between these questions, trying to get to your answer. So if I'm going, yep, I need 100 containers, I need to sell 100 different jewelry tutorials to different people. Okay, 100 products. No, I don't want to manage 100 products, and they don't want a library with 100. Okay, we can look at different delivery options for that. Contrast, nope, I just need one big container. Or, yep, eventually I can see myself having 3 different unique pieces of content distributed differently to different people. Then I would have 3 different products. So those are the questions that I'm always working through and trying to break the idea. Because if I can break it, that means it doesn't work. That means keep at it. Like until it doesn't break, then yep, the business model works, the payment structure works. I want to sell it like this. People, this is where my first 20's coming from. This is where my first 100's coming from. I know what it is that I've got a plan. Can I remodel that plan at some point? Absolutely. I can totally remodel. What we don't want to do is have to rip the house down and pull out the foundation.
Yeah.
That we don't want to do.
No.
But we can rip out countertops, we can move a wall. Like you can absolutely do that. You just, when this is pretty, well set, this is the path I'm taking them on, because I know my first 20 is coming, my first 100 is coming, so it makes sense. Then we don't have to rip the house and the foundation and like move it to a different spot, because no.
Yeah.
No.
I can tell you this, if I told my wife I could make $20,000 from this idea, she'd love on me for the next at least a year.
I think you could easily do that, Steve. I've seen,
Oh, well, I didn't have that grand plan when I started. I can tell you that. Yeah. But
no, I've seen Steve's drawing, and I would be I know enough about not building specifically, but I know, okay, moving plumbing and moving HVAC, and you do have to have load bearing walls, but I would be, the interior designer that's like, do we really need all these walls?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, really, I just want all windows. Okay, how we need we need to put stuff somewhere.
Or like on any remodeling program on HGTV, let's just take this wall out.
Oh.
Without any concept of what's in the wall, what's above the wall, if the roof might fall down.
HGTV has ruined my life. In half an hour, you're like, oh my God, look at that. They literally built, the Taj Mahal in half an hour. And I'm like, look at my husband, honey, we can do this. He's like, seriously? He's like, it took them 2 years and a crew of 200, and you didn't begin to see all the fires that they had to fix. I'm like, oh, you're right. They're ruining my life. Ruining my life. Steve, does that, I know it's probably you now have a lot more thoughts, but.
Well, if you were me, I had, I did your link and I got on, it takes you to the 28-day challenge thing or whatever. And, so I didn't realize it, but they don't even ask you for money when you do that. So you can start, but the only reason I've never started was because I wanted to have some products, and have them ready. Well, I have this one library product, which if you were me, would you do this via Dropbox, or would you set something up on some other platform that's got some controls? Or, Dropbox is just a file saving. It's like any kind of file saver, even on your computer. It's just on the cloud somewhere. But is it good? Is it good enough? I don't know.
Yes, I will tell you from even, I'll put my attorney hat on, Dropbox, and then check the box that says add a password. I would absolutely, especially the smaller file stuff, I would absolutely, if I had a lot of them, I would deliver them. I'd put my course in a product so that you have the experience of keeping track of lessons and taking it beyond what you were describing with, the webinar that's just an edited webinar. Yep, I can put in lessons. They can move forward easily. You would elevate that learning experience. But in terms of the individual files that I can just, take it, upload it into the program, maybe have a video. That easy. And
when I've sold it up to date now, I created a training video to show people how to use it, which I kept on YouTube as like, I forget now, either private or I forget all that, but basically I sent them a link to that. It's not public, that video, but they were able to watch it. And so if I was using Kajabi and I didn't want to use up a product, could I make an offer with a training video?
What you can do is, and I'll show you, again, many different ways to get to the number 12. Okay. But this is the one that would be a really good experience from your person. So if we started with your lead magnet, so they see you on YouTube, in your video, you're sending them to what I call the front door of the house to get them in before we let them wander around. So they're on your list. They're coming in. You start with a page. So pages, Kajabi calls them standalone pages. And right here, I just click on a new page. So this is the page that you can create, and you don't have to build out a website. You can set this beautiful landing page as the front door. Like it can function as the same thing as a website. Like if I put in a front door,
I got you.
I don't have to build out the website.
Okay.
So here, you can choose and edit any of these. They're very, very user-friendly. Let's say I say get started and opt-in lead magnet Steve. So you could swap out the girl on the lake for, a picture of something in the software or whatever your audience, is going to resonate with. And they would enter their information. Kajabi calls it a form. That's what it just holds data. It takes on the look of wherever I put it. It doesn't have a look of itself. So this page, this first part, like, hey, you want to start building this? Let's go. If I want to, this page comes with presets. So Kajabi, I can swap out anything I want on here. But let's say I go, you know what? I don't even need to see all this. Like, I don't need all that information. I can just hide it. Just like this.
I see.
So if all I want to say was like, hey, you want to get started? Cool. Let's go. This is the button. So when it's your lead magnet, our goal is let's get their names and addresses. So one of the ways we can do that is we click this. Kajabi calls it a two-step opt-in pop-up, and we click save. Yeah, and if you do, when you're doing the Kajabi trial, this is all the stuff that I do in PBK, is walking them through. Oh, I need to just do this piece. Cool. This is what you watch. This is how we work through it. You ask questions. If you do the trial and you're like, I don't really want to do this Kajabi thing, you just cancel it. It's not a big deal to me at all. But when you come through, and I had a couple people do this morning when I opened up PBK, they got Kajabi, and I give them 3 months inside PBK as my way of saying thank you for using my affiliate link. So 90 days is usually plenty of time for people to get up and see the money coming in. Like, hey, this site is paying for itself and then some. 90 days is usually plenty of time for people to figure out, do they want to do it or not? So each of these pieces allows you to edit. So you're always staying in one spot. This lets me see, oh, that's what the form would look like. I can put a picture there. I can change the text. I can, here where it says form, I pick the form that I'd want to use. So I think there's one that, no. There we go. So here's your newsletter list building. You create a form. So now they can enter their info. They've YouTube. Yep, I want to work with this guy. Come here. Let's say this was, what did you say? The 25 stair newels.
Yeah, whatever, yeah.
Yeah. How do you spell newels?
Newel.
Okay. 25 free stair newels.
Yeah.
Oh, EL?
Yes.
Sorry. Thank you.
There you go.
It's better than my NOOLS that's on the right. So here I can say enter your name and email, and I will send you 25 gorgeous stair newels to use in Chief Architect, right? Is that what it's called? There. Now I can add this that says we will not sell your information.
Oh, yeah.
I can add that now, which is awesome because.
So I could, up there above where it's got like a photo thing, you could just add pictures of the newels or whatever, right? Okay.
Sure could. So you click, it's nice. In Kajabi, I can either click on the picture or I can click from this left-handed sidebar. So depending on, you end up in the same location, some people will just intuitively prefer to build one way or the other. When you're starting, you're likely going to be clicking over here because you're like, I don't know where I am over here on this left menu.
Yeah.
So here's image. It'll give you suggested dimensions right there. Those are in pixels. So here I can select, it keeps track of recent images that you've uploaded. So you can pick, like if there's something you use frequently, it just lives in there. And click save.
Okay.
The picture doesn't exactly go with our text.
Okay. I got what you're trying to do.
So that's how I that's your lead magnet, like that.
Okay.
Doing that, what you do is you have to go back and turn it. You'll see this, but this editing button, I need to uncheck it for that to go away.
Oh,
So
I see.
When you go to the form,
that was the second step of the opt-in, right?
right?
Okay.
Right. So if I want to see what it looks like,
Oh,
so
I see.
Edit, I click the button. But if I leave that button clicked and they go to this page, they will just see this, like that's exactly what they'll see. And they won't be able to close it. So
you know, one of the things I've noticed when I've checked out some people's pages is that, and my wife has even said this to me when I've been showing her the pages, is that there's too many words. It's like, where's the button to buy? And I kind of like, especially people that are technical, like Chief Architect users, they know what they want. If they see something like that, they don't need a long list of the reasons why you'd want it. I mean, this guy that was trying to get me on his side, he told me Steve, he's been doing it 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of remodelers, the chief architects, I think primary focus is remodelers.
Okay.
And he said remodelers don't have time to learn every aspect of the software. They'll pay every day, all day to get objects.
Oh yeah.
So when he said that, I said, really? He said, oh,
Yeah.
they will not. I said, I would rather just train them how to do it. He said, they don't want to learn.
Mm-mm.
They
Time
just
is
want
money.
yes.
Yeah.
And
Time is money.
they're out in the field, you know, and then they come home on the weekends and draw some remodel plans.
Mm-hmm.
Then they go back out in the field. They can't sit there and take a training video. It's like, yeah, no.
Mm-mm.
So that was interesting too. So trying to understand the marketplace, because to me, the way I think personally is I just want to know how to do it.
Yeah.
But I have time too. So it's
Yep.
like, I fully understand. I've been on that side where you're out in the field and you don't have time to learn all that,
Mm-mm.
especially if you see the objects. So I was asking, is there a way then to, when they would purchase that, they would get an email with a link to the file, correct? Is
Yes.
that how it works?
Yep.
But then in that same email, can I put a link to the video then?
Yes. Yes.
A
So
training video?
let me
Okay.
show you how you can do that. That was going to be my second part. Thank you for reminding me. So that, where'd you guys go? Okay. Can you see Kajabi?
Yes,
Okay.
I see it.
So that takes care of our opt-in page. Now, what you can do, and you'll hear me say this frequently on my videos, I like to create a templated page. So make a template, have it, you know, your basic floor model that you're like, yep, every time I build a kitchen, we're starting with this basic dimensions. Same thing in Kajabi. When I'm building pages, I take the time and I make up this standalone page that looks as a good starting point. Because if you're going to deliver the file, you're like, yep, I'm going to deliver the file. I'm going to put it on a page. And I will say, until I see abuse happening, it really, people don't steal as much as you might think that they do. I rarely see abuse anymore. 6, 7 years ago, I saw a lot of abuse. Now, don't see as much abuse at all. But if you see abuse, obviously you can modify things and be like, whoop, that is not working, because people are taking the link and sharing it with their network of 5,000 friends. But so let's say that this opt-in lead magnet, Steve, was your template. So you made this page. Okay. Now we don't have to rebuild it. We just clone it. Okay. So we make an exact copy, and then we're going to add a video block, and we're going to hide the opt-in form. So it just saves time building. You can rebuild from scratch every time if you want to, but I'm not a big fan of that one.
No, I like
no.
I'm with you on the template. Yes.
I would just like a template, pretty please. So this is our template. So now it's going to let me, I just click these 3 dots and we'll turn these back on. That's why I don't also delete is not my first go-to. My first go-to if I don't want something is to hide it, because I might suddenly have a great idea for that thing I just deleted, and then I got to rebuild it. So I, by default, will use the hide and the show feature, not delete and remove. So here, okay, we don't need her anymore. So we're going to hide her, okay, because she was our opt-in form. So she's gone. But now we want to deliver a video. So we don't need it to be inside of a product, taking up space for that. So we can type video in here. And these are your different options. Okay, they're all pretty much the same thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I can put like text with a video, so I can say,
Uh-huh.
click here to learn more about how to use it or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And just,
Yeah.
that is awesome.
Oh, it's,
Oh yeah.
I could geek out for hours on this, probably like you do on your software. So here I can then say, oh, here's my video. And I can go, let me upload a new one. I've got a few different ones in here. I can probably just.
So this can be just right. I can save it,
Mhm.
produce the video and save it on my computer and just drag it onto here, right?
Yeah.
I don't have to put it on YouTube or anything.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. You can put it right here. But if you have something on YouTube, you can use the video embed and do the embed code from YouTube. So you can do it however you would like. Like I said, it's the beauty and the beast of Kajabi. There's many ways to get to the number 12. 1 and 11, 2 and 10, 6 divided or 6 times 2. And it really comes down to what is it you're trying to do and what's the easiest way, path of least resistance for you to do it.
And it's better to keep everybody on your site than to send them to some other site.
Oh yeah.
Correct? I mean, you send them to YouTube, you might not see them again for 3 weeks. So
yep. Yes. No, you want to gather them from Google to YouTube to, oh, look at that. Here I am. Once they're here, now I'm going to keep you in this nice space. And you're going to be so excited because I'm coordinating the experience now that you're here. So YouTube as your North Pole is it's good for you like it's good for me. Awesome. Great. Now let me come over here. And when you're ready, you thought that was good? Oh, just come on in here and let me show you how I've really thought through the experience you're going to have. Because now I'm in control, not Mr. YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah. So the video, it uploads, right? Just like that. I put a cover image, so it will stay. This is actually
like a thumbnail, right?
Yep.
Or whatever. Okay.
Yep. So I have to select an image. Let's see. Got screenshot in here. I was working on this myself this morning. That pops in.
Okay.
And the beautiful thing, Kajabi doesn't break.
Yes.
It doesn't break.
Well, you would know after all these years.
Yeah,
so.
it doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't break. It doesn't mess up. It doesn't. When I user error aside, there are times that I hook up something backwards, but this does not break. Which, having spent 5 years on WordPress and plugins and digital duct tape, you couldn't pay me to go back anywhere else.
There's a number of people on Chief Architects Forum that have websites, and I've been, of course, visiting to see how they have them set up and things.
Yep.
And I can't begin to tell you how many times they're broken, because they're making a living drafting or designing, and they have their website. It's probably 5 years old. They don't even go back and check it. So it's just kind of it's just, most of the websites are just to introduce themselves, but you click on a link in there, like go to my examples page or something, and it doesn't work. It's like that page doesn't exist.
No, is it?
I don't want that.
No, user error. Barring that, Kajabi doesn't mess it up. So here's that page that was our opt-in page. We had our picture at the top, but it was our template. So now we cloned it. Now this can be our video delivery page. So when they purchase on an offer, a specific offer, I can tell that page, and let me just rename this real quick.
Where did I miss where they had the opportunity to purchase?
Yeah, I'm headed that over there right now.
Okay.
Yep, I'm headed over there right now. So
this is awesome, by the way. Thank you.
Oh, you are. Oh, darn. Did I have to talk about Kajabi and what you could do with it again today? Oh, what a horrible day I'm having. Oh, gosh. This is my version of interior design.
When you just typed in video dash Steve,
Yeah.
is that kind of like a bit.ly kind of thing where you've gave it a description?
Yep.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I like that.
So I can change this. And on this, we're on my test site. So this my Kajabi piece right here is because I haven't turned on a custom domain for this. I have my custom domain turned on my Kajabi site. It's very easy. You click a button, you can make it whatever you want it to be. But this is where I, play.
I got what you're saying there.
So, but yes, I can modify that. You only want to modify it when you're first making it, because if you change it after the fact and that link is out in the world, if someone clicks on it and then you modify it, they will get a 404 error. Not the end of the world, because that redirects to your homepage. But I recommend in my checklist of steps, if we're going to change it, we change it when we make it.
Okay.
So that page, your video delivery page, if I make an offer, so this is the page where I have unlimited baggies. I can have a baggie for quite simply anything my brain can dream up. So Steve, single set of files. So right here, I'm going to just delete it. I don't have to have a product tied to my offers. I can set my price here, or I can set it as soon as I click save. My workflow, I tend to adjust the price here, but you can do both.
Okay.
So here I can say, yep, I'm going to edit the price. And I have a choice of free. I can do a one-time payment right here. I can choose whatever currency I would like. I can do multiple payments. So this, let's say Chris wanted to buy the powerlifting squat rack in 5 easy payments of $1,000.
Right.
That's this. Recurring subscription is gym access. It is the same amount based on time. So I write in the amount. I get to choose the frequency and then the time that goes with it. But this, unlike multiple payments, which is 5 payments of $1,000, this is payment of $50 until you cancel. This doesn't have an end date.
Oh, I see.
This recurring does not have a stop point. So one-time payment, because we're going to sell them a set of files. What do we sell a set of files for?
Oh, $99.
Okay.
What the heck? I don't know.
There we go.
Yeah.
Hey.
Okay.
If building.
I did have somebody say, I held my breath and I said $99. All he did was send me your PayPal account. That's all he wrote in the email.
I mean, if you really want to do this, you've got a business. Like,
yeah,
you really do. So here in this after purchase section, I check send the member to a thank you page. You don't ever want to use this where it says go to a thank you page. That's very ugly in Kajabi. Don't use that. We use landing page. That's what we just built. So that video delivery page that we made for you, and you're forever in my system now. See, Steve, video delivery page. As soon as they purchase, they would see that page. Now, the cool thing, oh goodness, This is my playground. Oh my
You
goodness.
just go and clone the same thing, right?
Nope. I just go to automation because I want to send them an email that's like, hey, here's your file, because they may not download it right away. So
Right.
here,
Okay.
then send them an email to the person. Thank you for your purchase. Download files now. So here, I can do two things. I can obviously type my message. So add my message, and I can say, oh, here's the link to the video. I could, if I wanted to, I can put the link to Dropbox on that same page that we made with the video. Here's the link to the files. So I just put my hyperlink in. So I'm going to send them to
Ah,
Oh.
I love the way your brain works.
Tell my husband that. Honey, there's people that really do appreciate my brain. So there, on one page, we can deliver them everything, keep track of it. And let's say you come up with a new set of, okay, let's say that this set of designs, oh gosh, okay, this is where it just gets cool what you can do with this that you can't do anywhere else. So I'm adding.
Before you hop off of this checkout, I wanted to go back to just one part of the checkout after you finish this part while you're in this section.
Gotcha. So let's say you want to know who is, I might have 4 different sets of, let's say, roof plans. Okay. So I can make a tag that says roof, and I'm going to click save. So when, you've been doing this and you're like, hey, I've got a whole new set of roof plans. Well, I can go, I'll come back over here, Elise. I can go to the people tab. I could sort by all of the people that bought my roof offers. Absolutely. But I could, because sometimes I forget how many offers I've made when I'm using lots of baggies, like this business model would be. And I can sort my people based on the tag that says has any of these tags. And if I type, this is a test site, so it won't be here. But if I put in roof and I clicked apply, let's say you had, I don't know what I said, 4 or 5 different offers for roofing, but you had used the same tag for all of them. And I say, oh, look it, I have all my roof people. I have 562 of them. Cool. Guess what? New set of roofing plans are now available. These people might be really interested in this new thing I have for sale. I go to marketing. I go to email campaigns, because again, everything's in one roof. You don't have to hook it all up separately. Nothing breaks. Like I click new email campaign. Like there's people that are like, well, I want to do this and that. I'm like, you go hook up all those things by all means. I'm gonna be over here selling and going to the beach. By all means, please go hook up 97 tools. By all means, go get it. So here in email, Kajabi has like basic text email, which is in the classic editor. And then it has pretty emails down here. Again, you can adjust all of them like you could with the landing pages. You can adjust all of it. For interest of time, I'm just going to pick the classic editor. So I'm going to say Steve send new roofs to all roof people. You see that title, nobody else does.
Okay.
So here, all people, I want to type in custom segment because I'm like, oh, I just want to send it to my roof people. Okay, cool. Where's my tag? Put them in, click apply. We're gonna have 0, but I'm gonna say, I can save it if I want, but if I'm not sending a bunch of stuff to these people, I might not clutter up my dashboard. But now I can click save. I can grab the link from my new offer that none of these people have because I just made it, and I can send it to the people that maybe would be most interested in buying it right away. So you just put in, link to the new offer of the new roofs. And I can make it a pretty button, or I can do a hyperlink. So I can put in, just use my site right now. His Stewart's new roof plans. See now. New window. I can change the color of the button. Write my email. Bada bing, bada boom. Off it goes.
You have to put a subject in, yeah.
Yep. Buy new roof plans.
Wow.
So, yeah, you can truly do whatever you want it to do. At least I'm going back to the offer page. And when you know that North Pole to New York City, you go, okay, I'm working on this project now. Cool. Because then it's like, oh yeah, could I put 200 different railings on this deck? Yep, but my person wants only straight lines. All right, we're not looking at any of that curvy stuff. Nope. Okay, now my choices are, far less than if I was looking at, oh, look at all the things Kajabi can do. Because it can do just about anything. It's the best Lego set there is. Does that answer your, probably more than your question?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I'm not, it's unlimited what I think you can do here.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Elise, what was your question?
So when you're on edit checkout and you go, if you scroll down and you're gonna, well, actually go to edit checkout, please.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I was noticing today when I was signing up for PBK is underneath where it said complete my purchase, you had your terms.
Mm-hmm.
So I know to add that extra over there.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's service agreement.
Mm-hmm.
okay.
I might have missed that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
So I
yes,
can do,
click that.
Oh.
And then how did you
Required?
make that little box that was underneath it that you scrolled down with the, like, sort of a, oh, it's down there.
right here.
Oh, okay, you have to click custom. Got
Yep,
it.
you click
Oh,
custom,
okay.
and then you, when you purchase, oh, here, let's just let's do this easy. We put it here, okay? We type
Gotcha.
in this box, and what it looks like, be easier than me typing, because I do hyperlink it, which I recommend people do. Can you guys see the PBK
Yep.
page? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So this is a standalone page, links to an offer checkout page. So what we were just editing, and the box that Elise is talking about is right here. So I typed in here just like that, and I hyperlink to the membership terms, which
Mhm.
is a standalone page. So here, when they can click it, I would say 1 out of 100 will click it, but it'll click, it'll open up a new page. So these are all your purchase terms, because when you're selling, you need purchase terms. PBKers, they have access to all of this. I show them how to meet all of this stuff that I'm showing you guys is what we do.
So it takes you to like a Google Docs
Yep.
page or something?
Yep. Yep. Mine is just Google Docs, because then I only have to keep this updated with the, like, if I change something, I don't have to worry that, oh, I used that one on this page and this one over there. So it's a lazy management tool that I will tell you from a legal standpoint covers your little hiney. But yeah, I just typed into here what is in this box. So I highlight, hyperlink, link to the page, which legally you need to have your purchase terms when they're buying. It doesn't matter if they read them or not. That doesn't matter, because when you have, I'm not there, here, it says, like, they have to check the box. Yep. I have read and I have this. I will say I have only had 2 people in the 10 years or 9 years I've done this. 2 people challenged me with PayPal, like wanted to, what's it called? Get the charge reversed, whatever that is done.
Yeah.
And both times I was like, okay, I just copied my link. You know, I followed PayPal's description. I said, well, here's my page. PayPal has sided with me both times. So I don't have a huge return rate, but the 2 times that I did, typically PayPal errs in the customer's favor. But both times, and this is how I set up my pages, PayPal did not refund the money to the person. So I was like, well, look at that.
Just while you're there at that same place.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. Nope, you're good.
So like you were saying, how there's different ways you can get to 12. So could you also click required? And then because until I saw what you did there today, what I had originally done is somewhere I went in and added the term, link.
I could add the link here. So
that's what I did, legal
here,
terms, and then I linked it.
Yep, I could link it here in the text of this offer. I could also, which I do recommend having this, make an offer footer. So a footer that contains your purchase terms, and then when you're checking out, you select that. So I don't know if I have it on my test site.
That's what I did. I went in, I created a new nav bar, especially just for terms, legal terms.
Yep, you can absolutely do that.
Yeah.
So yes.
Gotcha.
Many different ways you can arrive at 12.
Okay.
Could I trouble you to do a visual on the whiteboard? Because I really liked what you just did for him, but I would love to see the little blocks that you build so that I can visually see, okay, a customer's going to come to this landing page, which you usually put in a little box and you put page, that has the 2-step opt-in. That's going to direct them to the offer. And then that's going to direct them to that landing page that actually has the videos that they get. Because I love the visual.
Yep, nope, you're. Okay. Okay, so you want to see opt-in?
Yeah, because like the 100 containers of one, I'd like to do that, but just utilizing all Kajabi if possible. I'm not a fan of, oh, wow, I got to have this website and that website and this website, because now that's more usernames and passwords that I'm going to lose. So I loved how you were laying it out for him in Kajabi, but what's it visually look like this if we were to just have a roadmap?
Yep. So here is your page with your form. that gets them onto your list. Whenever you send them to what they can buy, here's your page, here's your CTA that goes to offer checkout.
Okay.
When they have a successful purchase, okay, then they see page. I can add a CTA here. I can have this be download a file. So this is another way that Steve could get to 12. I can have the video there. I can have text. I can design that page however I want. So they see this page happens immediately when they buy.
And the automation, if you set that up.
Yep. So here I go and A is what we use for our automations. So when they're buying, successful buy, it is when offer is purchased, then subscribe, or sorry, we're just sending a single email. Sorry, just a second. In this instant, we're not sending them to a sequence because single thing is, this is less confusing. Then send single email. And in the email, I am going to include the URL of this page. And if I was delivering the file a different way, let's say Dropbox with a password, I would have the Dropbox URL. That's it.
Awesome.
So let me ask a question here. If after they buy, they can go to another page that has a button to download the file, would that keep them from, I mean, would the file just automatically download from Dropbox?
Mhm.
So they wouldn't even have to click on any URL I'm thinking I would send them an email, but I would encourage them to maybe become a member. So I would use something as more of a marketing tool, but you know.
Because with Kajabi, you can download files with a CTA button and video files. I mean, you can upload any.
You can do anything. I mean, you can do anything.
I didn't want to send it to Dropbox or YouTube or.
Right.
No, you can. It really becomes, and I will tell you this from a management standpoint, I purposely, and this is me for my lifestyle, I've done big corporate, I've managed teams of people. I don't want employees. I don't want all that goes with that. That's just not the lifestyle model that Chris and I want. However, I'm running an empire. In Kajabi, where it isn't breaking and it can do anything that I can dream up here, it can help, it can execute. And I have choices in terms of, no, I don't really want to do it that way. I want to do it this way. I mean, it's the coolest thing ever. I mean, it is amazing that we can do this, that we can go, oh my goodness, like I know how to do that and I can really sell it to people in maybe 2 or 3 different ways that work with what they would like to do. And once I've set it up, it truly won't break on me and allows me to enjoy what it is that I'm doing. I mean, pinch me. It's like it's the coolest thing ever.
I'm going to pinch you.
Okay.
On this first page for the opt-in where it says list, is this where you would set up an automation to tag them?
Nope, you don't have to. In Kajabi, everything is based on their action. So
Oh,
by
that's
this,
right. It lets you know where they opted in from.
yep. So by the simple fact that they came in on a specific form, whatever I called that form, they're coming in my front door. So let's call it the front door form. Front door. This is a filter type already at play in Kajabi. So I don't have to tag or segment them differently because I can already choose filter and choose based on what form they filled out. So if
But
I go,
I'm sorry.
nope, you're fine.
I was just saying, but you have to have the middle plan to have those additional conditions which help out, right? That we've been talking about.
They do. Yeah. The difference between basic and pro is truly the best $50 you can ever possibly spend because of the automation portion. You can finesse your business. You can't, for what the additional, think of additional conditions as stuff a virtual assistant would do. Send this mailing to these people that don't own this and didn't do this and didn't do this. She works 24/7, 365 days a year and never makes a mistake.
Okay.
I can't hire that person for $50. That's the big difference between basic and growth. Sorry, not pro. Pro is like the 300 and something. Basic and growth is the best $50 you can spend by far. When they moved, and I know Tracy had some questions on like, it did used to be 5 products on the basic plan, but Kajabi is always shifting. You will never, ever, ever, someone buying after you will never, ever, ever get a better deal than you at a better price. That is not their business model. Their business model is, founders are the perfect example. Founders have the best rate, we have the best of everything. As long as our account stays active, we will never lose it. So they took away the, I'm going to wait. Like maybe they'll change it. It'll never be better for somebody in the future. It might be the same, but it will never be better for them. They will always upgrade or make it so that it's never, sorry, getting tongue-tied today. But let me go back here. I'll show you, Amanda, the filters. And the filters are great because you don't have the additional step of tagging people. Like, oh, I need to tag you and filter you and segment you.
Well, I didn't even know how to read the filters before I started listening to your training. So maybe we need a training on what we're even looking at.
Oh, we do. And you'll see as we go through orientation, we customize it. I'll constantly be bringing you back to, oh, I have this question. I'll be like, great. What's your North Pole to New York City? Because in the context of what you're trying to do, then the answer makes sense, because you doing something and me knowing, yep, that's your North Pole to New York City, what you're trying to achieve, your answer might be totally different than an answer I would give Steve or Elise. Emily's a great example. She was on the PBK member call yesterday, and she needs, because she works with physician assistants who want to become physician assistant educators. So she deals with highly academic people. She has a front door, she has her lead magnet, but in her situation, she does need 3 slight variations on the same front door, because I know how she's using it. And we've talked about her audience. In her situation, as on the call, it was kind of funny because someone else was like, you won't let me have 3 front doors. I'm like, no, because you only need a single one. She needed 3 front doors in order to execute her North Pole to New York City for her academics. So again, it's that whole, what's the best way to get you to 12? because ideal for me might be wretched for you. It always works out like that. So here, whenever you want to see what automations are available, you can click on new automation, and you always have, you can look and see like, okay, what are my choices? So here, when form is submitted, cool, I don't need to segment those people. So in something like a ConvertKit or a MailChimp, where I had to tag and I had to label and I had to have a separate list. There's no separate lists in Kajabi. Like, it's all based on their behavior. So it's like, no, you're in my ecosystem. What behaviors and what actions did you take or not take? And then let me craft it all together, which allows you to serve your market phenomenally with minimal time. Like, this stuff is just, it's minimal.
Right. So like in Steve's, for this example,
Mhm.
for the roof thing, would that be a form, for example? Because if they came into this opt-in page, he's giving away, let's say stairs, he's giving away these 25 stairs. And next month he's like, oh, I got another one, but they didn't get this one. He could just go under email broadcast, anybody that submitted the form stairs.
Yep.
And it would pull up all of them. So instead of an automation, it would just be forms.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
Can I
it's
see the
like,
whiteboard again?
yeah. And I'll send you the picture. I'll post the pictures in the pop-up group.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I got so mad at my husband for buying me an iPad that I'm like, I'm never going to use this. And so now I'm like, ooh, I need a new iPad.
Oh gosh. It is.
That's how I am.
It is. It has more than paid for itself.
Can you
And
use it on a
provided me.
phone?
What?
Can you use it on a phone or just the iPad only? That color, the writing thing, the good notes.
It's probably, let me check real quick. Where's my apps?
Is it the app with a purple notebook with a white check mark on it? Is that the one you're talking about when you go into apps?
It's this one. Can you see it? It's right here.
Yeah, I haven't. No, that's not the one I downloaded.
He overcharged me like.
Maybe it's not available for Android.
Tracy, is the content in the pop-up group going away? Yes. When I close the pop-up group, it'll get archived, and I'm not going to use Facebook again for the pop-up group. So the fall pop-up group is going to be run on Mighty Networks.
But will your videos stay on YouTube if we need
Oh, yeah.
videos? Okay.
Yep. And all the trainings that I did are in the free product. So the free Kajabi resource library, they live there. And for the moment, I'm going to leave them all published. I may rotate content, but I don't have any plans to do that right now. But that's why I put it lives on YouTube. That same content actually is a blog posts for me from now through the first week of August, which is awesome. And that content is in the free product. So, I mean, Kajabi really lets me leverage making this one video. I can make it a blog post, lives on YouTube, goes into my free product. I also put it in the members lounge, although I will say PBK members, they're just going to ask me their question, but if they want it, it's in there should they ever want to watch it. But I don't think very many of them would go and watch a 2-hour video unless they were, to some people, I am more exciting than Netflix, I have been told. So there are people that, will post their pictures and they're like doing their ironing on a Friday night and, they're watching, me on the big screen. So, but.
So then last question about this example.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I guess. You said this custom URL that goes to that page. So they buy the product and it sends them to that that landing page that you created that has the video and the content, and you can customize the URL to that. It's not likely that people are just going to copy that and send that to their friends and buddies or pal. I mean,
No.
because I know that isn't a question when it comes to telling.
No, it's always a question, and I always get tagged in it. Until you see the abuse happening, don't anticipate a problem that doesn't exist.
Okay.
Most people, even if they're paying you $5 or $10, they're not sharing it with their friends. They're not sending it. Now, you might have one bad apple, in which case you look at it, and I've had people like, oh my gosh, this person, shared it. I'm like, okay, how many have we sold? They had sold well over 100,000 of a less than $50 product. I said, okay, so do you want to keep doing this method that you're using? Yeah, it works great. Okay, then do we really care about someone who stole a $50 product and sent it to their sorority sisters? Like, I don't even remember who they sent it to. And it was like, no, we got to weigh the practical with the going after them. They're like, it's copyright infringement. I'm like, do you have any idea how much money you're going to pay an attorney to fight this? Like a bazillion times more than what they took from you. So you want to be smart about it. Absolutely. Absolutely be smart about it. However, it's digital. I mean, people can steal stuff from the State Department. Yeah, they can probably get their hands on my PDF for sure. Could somebody hack my Trello board when I make it a paid product? I'm sure they can. If they can hack into the CIA and the Pentagon, and I mean, I watch those spy shows. I know what they're capable of. Be realist. Like, I call it, there's like a triangle, and it is legal, practical, and social. And you have to balance the pieces, being very smart about it. I'm very protective. I'm very proactive. I also know if it's going to cost you 25 grand to fight a $100 product, get over it. Like, no.
It's just marketing.
Yeah, like, no. Let's find a better way to do it.
There are people on Chief Architect that have written elaborate macros, okay? And they can be put into a file structure, and they always just post, email me if you're interested. They sell them for 25 or 50 bucks or whatever. But I emailed those guys when I was contemplating all this, and they said they can't prevent anybody from reselling it or just selling it off to other people, but they've never had a problem. Cool. So yeah, and especially if you're part of a community, and you're posting, say you post your plan and you didn't pay for this macro, somebody opens up and sees the plan and sees the macro, somebody might post, hey, I don't remember selling you this macro.
Oh, it's the quickest way. And it hasn't happened recently, but even Periscope a few years ago, there were a couple people, people that were hacking and doing stuff with videos and putting whatever. The people that know your content, I mean, they're the fastest police force you've ever seen. It's like, boom, this person has your stuff. If it's legit, yeah, okay, is it legit? Yes. Do I have a leg to stand on? Okay. And is this worth my time and money that this is? But a lot of them that were right around when I was coming into this world, so it would have been 2010, 2011, they were complete Trojan horse virus scams. And so it would have images of, let's say, James Wedmore, Amy Porterfield, Brendan Burchard, Graham Cochran, like all these courses that cost thousands of dollars, and this site from a country location you couldn't even pronounce, 99 cents, all access. And everyone would go ballistic. And it only took a couple of them, like, you guys, these are virus scams.
Mhm.
Nobody has the file. They're not selling it for 99 cents. But as soon as you click, guess what?
Yeah.
Malware. Like, so again, it's I'll always investigate, but my reaction barometer, I err on the low end of, if we see it, let's be as smart as we can setting it up in the way that makes the most business sense. And we will watch for abuse. But abuse may never happen. So I've watched too many people be so afraid that someone's going to take their PDF, in which case, watch anything on Netflix. There are seals. I mean, there are people breaking into things way more secure than my PDF. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
And they've just stayed small and they've stayed at home and they have this amazing content, but they're so afraid somebody's going to rip it off that it's like, oh, it's not secure. I can't sell it. Okay, well, I'm going to go sell mine. I'm sure somebody's going to hack it. I'm going to be okay with that because next week I'm going to Disney World with my kids for 2 weeks. So
there you go.
You know, it's
Balance. Yeah.
It's oh my goodness. Yeah, Amanda, send me the question. I actually have to get off because Chris has a call, so I have to get off for today. But
Thank you.
Yeah, just send me.
Very informative.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
I'm pumped up. I didn't know what was possible, so I'm anything is possible. Yeah.
Steve, you've got something. I mean, yours is cool. Like yours is really. Yours
my
is
wife
cool.
will be happy to see me again. I might come up out of the basement, but I probably won't. So.
Oh, alrighty.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Let me just stop.